Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm visible as well as audible. Sorry to have kept you waiting, but I was just undergoing some technical issues here. But I hope now everything is fine. And how have you been? And are you ready for today's class? So I hope you guys remember who I am. I'm Sukanya, and we are going to basically analyze the Hindu editorial together. And good afternoon, everyone. Those who have joined us just now. Let's start with today's class, right? You already know that we are going to first discuss the high frequency words, and I found a great deal of high frequency words in today's editorial. Also, I found one idiom and one foreign phrase. Now the thing is, guys, many people do not really know how to exactly, read and analyze the editorials. Let me give you a pro tip here. So if you come across any of the idioms, figure of speech, or you're able to identify the general, I would say connotation that the writer is trying to make, whether he's talking about something in a positive way or a negative way, please note it down somewhere. That's how you read and basically engage and interact with the text. Okay? And Vaishnavi, I'm better. How are you? So let's start with the class today. The first word is not a word, it's basically an idiom, idiomatic phrase. And the first one is a bone of contention. How many of you have already heard this idiom before? A bone of contention, you can kind of relate it to two dogs fighting for a bone. ठीक है? और contention का मतलब यही होता है कि they both are contesting against each other. That means it's a subject or an issue which is basically a problematic area or a matter of disagreement. ठीक है? तो कैसे याद रखेंगे a bone of contention? Basically, you will remember two dogs fighting for a bone. And if there is a fight over a bone, that means obviously they are mutually on disagreeing terms. That's an idiom. Okay? Let's see how we can use it in a sentence. So, as you can see, I have used an example which everybody can relate with. In this wicked world, money is always a bone of contention. How many of you agree with this? As you grow older, you really know that money is basically the root cause of all the problems. And it's always a matter of continuing disagreement. Just imagine, our family members fighting over a piece of land, isn't it? So let me use it in another example here. Vaishnavi, yeah, we can understand it like fissures only because it's also a kind of separation or disagreement in one way. So the paternal land was a bone of contention among the family members. Yes, a kind of a dispute. Exactly, Ashwarya. Let's see the next word. The next word is fruition. Fruition, I think this word you can relate to something being fruitful. Basically, you're getting the fruits, or basically you're getting success for something that you have put in a lot of hard work. So the realization or fulfillment of a plan or project. For example, as soon as I got to know my CLAT results, I knew that my hard work has finally come to fruition. That's how you can use it. ठीक है? When you finally realize that yes, I have achieved my dream, I have kind of fulfilled my plan or objective, that's basically something coming to fruition. And usage is, as you can very well see, it will be a while until the project comes to fruition. That means here the project is, I would say, under a lot of delay, and that's the reason it will take some time for it to come to the full potential or realization that the plan is in the end fulfilled. And let me see your examples first. So Sanchit has given us the first example here. Present time, many politicians have a bone of contention. Have a bone of contention, but you need to also mention the issue here, Sanchit. Using mobile phone has been a serious bone of contention in many homes. Exactly, Drishti. Her propensity to always lie is a bone of contention among her family members. Exactly. You've used propensity and bone of contention wonderfully, Vaishnavi. So moving to the next one, generic. In very simple terms, if something is generic, it basically means something which is general or something which is not specific. Okay? For example, her generic response to everything is, I am fine. ठीक है? So her general response to every single question is that she's fine. And let's see the usage. Parmesan is a generic term used to describe a family of hard Italian cheeses. By the way, recently I came across a video and they were telling, a list of names that these cheeses have actually, and we actually do not even know about them. So हम सारी ही आप बोल सकते हो जहाँ पे भी हम इटालियन चीज की बात करते हैं we just give it the common general name of parmesan, but parmesan की भी बहुत सारी variety होती है. So as you can see, that's how you can use generic. Generic is basically something which is not specific. Okay, let me use another example here. Oh, Sanchit, that's a lovely example. My dream is not generic. Very good. Career nowadays is a bone of contention between one's self-choice. Acha, career. Sanidhya, I think the spelling is a little different here. Carrier, you have written carrier, it should be career. Career nowadays is a bone of contention between one's self choice, passion, and the aspirations and wants of society. What a lovely example. And then Naman has also written an example here. Farmer's bill is a bone of contention. Yes, exactly. It's a very pressing issue currently. After many obstacles, our dream of owning NLIU has finally come to fruition. Okay, lovely. My timetable is not generic. Very good. It should never be generic. So moving to the next one, incubate, and I think you guys must have already heard this word. It's a biological term and it's a verb. Incubate, you must have seen the hens sitting on their eggs. There is a period of incubation. Incubation का मतलब होता है एक general warmth provide करवानी पड़ती है eggs को. Only then, after a certain period of time, the eggs hatch. Okay, so that's basically the literal meaning of incubating something. Okay, now, if I talk about different contextual meanings of incubate, it also means to maintain under controlled conditions. देखो, even when the hen is sitting over an egg, it's still a controlled condition. Why? Because a certain temperature is needed for the eggs to get warmed up and then eventually hatch. तो यहाँ पे भी हम देख सकते हैं to maintain under controlled conditions for the development of a reaction. अगर आपको कोई reaction मतलब basically if you want a reaction to take place, you will manage the conditions around it. That's basically incubating it. Let's see an example here. The female bird incubates the eggs. I already told you it's a verb. You can use it like incubated, incubating, incubates, like that. Okay, my routine of studying QT is generic. I think I assume here that you do not like QT as much, right, Aishwarya? The society thought her efforts coming to fruition is quite generic and nothing new. Oh, I think society can go to hell if they think like that, right? So, another example. The idea had to be incubated to eventually come to fruition. See, I used both of the words here. I hope you have understood the example. The idea had to be incubated. That means it had to be kept under controlled conditions. लोगों ने उसके बारे में काफी सोचा. Basically, people spent time on it, and only then it finally became successful. Aishwarya, I completely understand. The virus can incubate for up to 10 days after the initial infection. Drishti, I think after the pandemic, we are all scared of viruses, right? Moving to the next one. Have you heard the word scuttling before? By the way, one of the articles, the title has this word scuttling. and it's the first word for the title. I think you must have already seen that article. तो scuttling का मतलब होता है verb. First of all, it's a verb, and it means when you run hurriedly or furtively. Furtively का मतलब होता है when you are running away from something. That means you are moving in a, I would say, secretive way. जैसे कि एक चोर कुछ चोरी करके भागता है. The way a thief runs after stealing something, that's scuttling. Okay, so आप पकड़ भी नहीं जाना चाहते और अगर आप तेज भागोगे तो obviously people would be suspicious, so you are taking short quick steps. Okay, that's scuttling. Let's see an example here. The children scuttled off as soon as the head teacher appeared. That's what happens, right? Whenever the children are in big groups and talking about something constantly, suddenly the teacher arrives and everybody just, scatters here and there. क्योंकि उनको पता रहता है कि वो कुछ गलत कर रहे हैं, right? The idea of hard work and patriotism is incubated among the citizens. Lovely, Vaishnavi. Ma'am, I'm more afraid of getting the. Oh, Drishti, I completely get it. Even I have this phobia of injections. I'm so scared of them. Sherlock Holmes scuttled amidst the investigation. Who else scuttles? The maid scuttled out of the room after stealing the earrings. I take money from sister's pocket. Okay, and then scuttle away. Weber, do you really do that? My CLAT UG preparation is on the way of scuttling. Why are you going to? No, no, no. Don't use it like hurriedly. It's basically when you're trying to hide something and then you're trying to run away from it. Okay? No, no, no. Scrutiny is not at all similar to scuttling. Scrutiny का मतलब होता है when you investigate or properly evaluate something. Scrutinize का मतलब होता है आप उस चीज को evaluate करते हो, उसको बारीकी से देखते हो. That is scrutinizing. A crab scuttled away under the rock as we passed. Yes, exactly. So moving to the next one. Insurrection. In simple terms, it's an open rebellion. जब भी आपने देखा होगा कि people are protesting openly, that's known as an insurrection. Instead of using the word rebellion because it's so common, please start using the word insurrection instead. Okay? So insurrection का क्या usage हो सकता है? Years of discontent, years of unhappiness turned into armed insurrection. That generally happens when the people are not really happy with their government. So that's the reason they are discontent. Discontent का मतलब होता है, I would say, dissatisfied and also unhappy because of something, and that's the reason eventually it leads to open rebellion. Regular conflicts have scuttled the peace of people. Oh, yes, exactly. Another example of insurrection, the men were ready for the upcoming resurrection. I scuttle when I make Maggie because my sister is around the kitchen. So, Naman, basically, you don't want to share your Maggie with your sister. How mean? You should make extra. The next one is allegiance. Allegiance का मतलब होता है loyalty. And you generally pledge your allegiance towards somebody. For example, if you are a member of a party, so you will have to take an oath of allegiance. Allegiance, loyalty. And it's a noun. She proudly recited the oath of allegiance, the oath of loyalty. Her allegiance towards her country has made her immortal. Hi Aditya, welcome to the class. And Wagner Group recently insurrected against their high lords sitting in the Winter Palace. Oh, that's lovely. Another example of allegiance, कोई और लॉयल्टी को यूज कर सकता है? People's allegiance nowadays is suspicious. How many of you agree with this statement? किस किस को लगता है कि आजकल लोगों की लॉयल्टी जो है वो बहुत सस्पिशियस हो गई है? People have actually become two-faced. My allegiance is to never break towards the situation. I think, Sanchit, we need to refine that statement a little bit. Her allegiance towards work is, Vaibhav, you need to add something to that. Her allegiance towards her work is her topmost priority. I've always been, okay, Drishti, you can't really use it as a verb, it's a noun. See, I have always been allegiance, ye galat ho jayega. You need to use it as a noun. So, my allegiance when it comes to watching Shin Chan is unmatched. Inter alia, her allegiance while taking oath showed a sense of tedium. Oh, lovely. The next one is prorata. I think prorata is that one foreign phrase that you must have heard several times because it's so commonly seen and heard, and it's a foreign phrase. It's taken from Latin, and it very simply means in proportion to something. For example, the amount of work that you do, the amount of money you get, right? So, in proportion to the amount of work, you will get the money. It's as simple as that. So you will be paid on a pro rata basis. इसका मतलब है जितना काम करोगे उतना पैसा मिलेगा. ठीक है? Anything else that you can come up with for this? I'm leaving it on you. Okay? The next one is muzzle. By the way, muzzle also means the snout of an animal. ठीक है? आपने देखा होगा horses have a snout. Snout का मतलब होता है जो बड़ी सी नाक. Similarly, dogs have a snout. That's another meaning of muzzle. And here, in terms of the passage that we got, I'm sorry, in the Hindu, यहाँ पे muzzle का मतलब होता है restraining somebody. Restrain का मतलब होता है to limit them in one way or the other. Okay? Let's see an example. He complained of being muzzled by the chairman. He complained of being restrained. That means he cannot express himself fully in front of the chairman because the chairman always restrains him in one way or the other. ठीक है? Let's use another one. They were muzzled for their loud display of celebration. You must have seen during festivals, the people are very loud in terms of, expressing their happiness. Sometimes the loudspeakers are on till the wee hours of morning, which is very uncomfortable for other people, right? So वहाँ पे obviously the police have to come and obviously restrain such hooligans. So हम देख सकते हैं कि muzzling can be used as restraining somebody. Each company in the group pays its pro rata share of losses and expenses. Very good example, Samiksha. Wonderful. At the end of the deal between me and my friend, at the end, the deal between me and my friend was tweaked by receiving pro rata gifts. Exactly. So that it basically means that eventually you would decided to give each other something which is in equal proportions, right? The next word is plunge. You must have heard the phrase taking the plunge, right? It means to jump or dive into something, basically hitting something head first. His plunge into the pool created a huge splash. That means his jump or dive. We took the plunge to launch our new company. Obviously, it's a very daunting task when you launch your new company, right? Startups are very scary. Another example of muzzle. My friend was convicted of failing to muzzle a pit bull. Yes, exactly. Pit bulls cannot easily be muzzled. They are very aggressive. House Bolton, sour and allegiance? No, pledged and allegiance is more like it, Sanithya. Towards the lots of High Garden. Although I think you are a big fan of this High Garden thing, Sanithya. Although I cannot really relate because I have never heard of it. But yeah, you can definitely enlighten me on that. Lady Shriram College security is muzzled by the other university students. Great. The next one is arbitrariness. अगर मुझे arbitrariness in simple words समझाना है तो इसका हिंदी में मतलब होता है मनमानी करना. That means you're just doing what you feel is right rather than any reason or any system. आपको जो सही लगता है वही आप किए जा रहे हो मनमानी, भले ही वो गलत डिसीजन है. ठीक है, that's arbitrariness. Okay. Virat plunged on the ground to catch the ball. Very good. Plunged on the ground. And plunging over to conclusions must be muzzled and situations should be mulled over. Oh, so plunging over means directly jumping to conclusions should be restrained because when we jump to conclusions without much thought, obviously it brings a lot of pain. Very good example, Vaishnavi. Incredible. And situations also should be mulled over. That means you should first think about it and then you should jump to conclusions. Her car plunged off the cliff. Oh, that's scary. Great example. So, अगर हम बात करते हैं arbitrariness की, तो arbitrariness कैसे याद रखोगे? मनमानी करना. And usage, as you can see, the mock trial scene of his divorce further helps to unveil this arbitrariness of language. यानी कि वो जो language दोनों भी parties use कर रही होंगी, it must be unpleasant and foul. See, obviously, if you talk to somebody in foul language, the other person is also going to lose their temper and they are in turn going to reply in a very foul way. And that's going to escalate the argument. तभी तो arguments इतने escalate होते हैं. अगर मैंने कुछ बुरा बोल दिया, सामने वाले ने भी बुरा बोल दिया. ठीक है? तो बेसिकली आप अपनी लैंग्वेज को हमेशा बहुत नाप तोल के यूज करना चाहिए. You should not really be arbitrary when you use your language. ठीक है? My sister's arbitrariness. Again, it's a noun verb, so you can't use it like a verb. You're using it like a verb right now. My sister's arbitrariness on me is overwhelming, right? Let's use another example. The arbitrariness of the rules of the game created a lot of confusion. मतलब कि हम अपने रूल्स कैसे यूज कर रहे हैं जैसे हमारी मर्जी हो. और अगर हम ऐसे रूल्स बनाएंगे गेम्स के तो देन ऑब्वियसली द सेकेंड पार्टी विल ऑलवेज हैव a bone of contention with you because obviously rules are not clear. तो तुम ही जीतोगे eventually. So moving forward, change in law shows the arbitrariness of the government. Exactly. Every time a law changes, that's actually an example how the government does everything according to their whims and fancies, right? So the next word is stalling or stalled. It's a verb, as you can very well see, and it means to hinder or obstruct. Hinder and obstruct का क्या मतलब होता है? किसी को रोकना किसी चीज से. Okay? For example, suppose you have broken something in the house and you don't want your mother to see it. So you will stall your mother with one or the other excuses. ठीक है? Let's see an example. I stalled the car twice during my driving test, but still managed to pass. दो बार मेरी कार जो है वो रुक गई थी, रोक दी गई थी, लेकिन फिर भी I managed to pass my driving test. Another example, I was stalled. by my students because they wanted to waste time, right? I hope you have understood this. Acha Sanchit, the arbitrariness of humans. You don't have to use nature there, Drishti. The arbitrariness nature is not needed. The arbitrariness of humans has resulted in destroying the environment. Yes. It's always the environment that takes the brunt of human actions, right? Yeah, restriction, hindering something, it's the same. I hinder you. I hinder you की जगह पे use stalling. I stalled you so that you cannot complete this work. Let's see the article of the day. Brave New World on the India European Free Trade Association Agreement and IPR. Basically, यहाँ पे एक सजेशन दिया गया है कि इंडिया मस्ट एक्चुअली स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग इन फंडामेंटल रिसर्च. थोड़ा सा हमें पैसा इन्वेस्ट करना पड़ेगा in order to further develop our medicines, because you must have seen during pandemic, India has successfully come up with their own set of vaccines, क्योंकि उस समय पे हमारे पास कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं था, तो obviously we had to invest. So we invested money and the results were obviously top tier. So we have to actually start investing more money in research and development of our medicines. ठीक है? I stalled eating junk. You don't have to use the word to there, Aishwarya. I stalled eating junk. Now, let's see this article. Wait a second. Okay, I'll try to explain it in as simple words as I can. I hope it's okay for you that way. Okay, so let's try to understand what's going on in this passage. Uh, let's imagine that India and a group known as EFTA. EFTA stands for European Free Trade Association. I think you can see it here. Oh, sorry. Is close to fruition का मतलब है कि जो भी expectations है when it comes to free trade agreement, ये finally successful होने वाला है इंडिया और यूरोपियन फ्री ट्रेड एसोसिएशन के बीच में. Now the thing is, both of these parties, they kind of have made a deal where they exchange, या आप बोल सकते हो trade stuff freely. Freely का मतलब है कि आप बहुत ज्यादा restrictions नहीं लगाते हो. It can be clothes, it can be gadgets, but currently they are having this big argument about a rule involving ideas. देखो क्या होता है, I can easily exchange freely the commodities that my country produces. The other country also can do the same thing. But when it comes to ideas, देखो आइडियाज का ऐसा रहता है कि अगर मैंने तुम्हारा आइडिया चुरा के पहले यूज कर लिया, so what is the proof that you have? ठीक है? So these ideas are specifically about medicines. ठीक है? Let's try to understand what exactly is the writer trying to tell us here. तो यहाँ पे हम बात करते हैं कि ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए, अब प्रॉब्लम तो तुम लोगों को समझ में आ ही चुकी है. जैसे कि ईएफटीए कंट्रीज होती हैं, स्विट्जरलैंड हो गई, नॉर्वे हो गई. यहाँ पे ये जो कंपनीज है, दे मेक इंपॉर्टेंट मेडिसिन फॉर द एंटायर वर्ल्ड. ठीक है, क्योंकि इनका रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम जो है वो बहुत ही स्ट्रांग है. नाउ द थिंग इज, दीज कंपनीज स्पेंड अ लॉट ऑफ मनी. ऑब्वियसली रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट में पैसा बहुत ज्यादा लगता ही है. So they spend a huge deal of money on these new medicines. But once these medicines are actually produced and are circulated in the market, what happens is people start to copy it and start selling cheaper versions of it. So obviously, there's a fight that's ongoing between the companies who are actually inventing the medicines and also the companies who are copying them. क्योंकि देखो, कॉपी करना तो बहुत आसान होता है, कॉपी में पैसा भी कम लगता है एंड यू कैन सेल देम एट अ चीपर कॉस्ट. तो इसका मतलब है लोग तो वही प्रेफर करेंगे सस्ती चीजें खरीदना. लेकिन बेचारे जिन्होंने एक्चुअली रिसर्च की, विल दे बी हैप्पी? ऑल्सो दे विल बी in a perpetual state of loss. So I hope यू आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू कन्वे हियर? समझ में तो आ रहा है ना क्या चल रहा है? कहीं पे भी कुछ कंफ्यूजन हो तो लेट मी नो। तो हम यहाँ पे बात करते हैं, टू सॉल्व दिस देयर इज दिस solution, or you can call it a rule called patenting. What is the meaning of creating a patent? Can anybody tell me in the chat box? तुम लोगों ने सुना होगा patents होने चाहिए। बहुत ही सिंपल सा मीनिंग होता है पैटेंटिंग का। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, माई इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी का मतलब है द थिंग दैट आई हैव थॉट ऑफ फर्स्ट। आई गो इन दिस पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड गेट माई आइडिया पैटेंटेड, एंड इफ एनीबडी कॉपीज दैट आइडिया आई कैन easily sue that person फॉर स्टीलिंग माई आइडिया। तो समझ में आया? क्योंकि क्या होता है जनरली, इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी आपने जो सोचा और आपने हो सकता है अपने दोस्त को बता दिया और उसी ने आपका आइडिया चुरा लिया, बट आप क्या ही कर सकते हो? इफ दैट अदर पर्सन इज वेरी क्विक इन इम्प्लीमेंटिंग योर आइडिया, तो आप प्रूव ही नहीं कर पाओगे कि आइडिया ओरिजिनली आपका था। इसलिए क्या करो, जैसे ही कोई आइडिया आता है उसको पैटेंट करवा लो। दैट्स गोइंग टू सेव यू अ लॉट ऑफ ट्रबल। आई होप इट्स क्लियर, राइट? सो मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, हम यहाँ पे समझते हैं कि ये जो रूल है पैटेंटिंग का, इससे काफी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो सकती है। इट ऑल्सो गिव्स द इन्वेंटर्स दिस अश्योरेंस दैट yes, this is your product, this is your idea, and none of the other companies can actually go ahead and steal those ideas। ठीक है? Now the thing is, यहाँ पे एक और चीज समझ में आती है, there is this new rule known as data exclusivity, और इसमें बेसिकली हम बात करते हैं इंफॉर्मेशन की। That information about how well a medicine works must be kept a secret for a certain period of time। मतलब जब आपने कोई मेडिसिन बनाई and you have started circulating it, उसके जो रिजल्ट्स हैं पहले उन चीजों को मॉनिटर करो बिफोर एक्चुअली शाउटिंग इट आउट लाउड इन द पब्लिक। ठीक है? तो थोड़े समय तक उसको सीक्रेट रखो। ओनली द कंपनी हु हैज मेड द मेडिसिन कैन यूज द इंफॉर्मेशन टू सेल दैट मेडिसिन। बाकी लोग नहीं इस इंफॉर्मेशन को यूज कर सकते, बिकॉज यू हैव ऑलरेडी पैटेंटेड दैट इंफॉर्मेशन। नाउ द थिंग इज, ऑब्वियसली इंडिया भी यही कर रहा था, इंडिया भी चुरा रहा था आइडियाज और फिर चीपर कॉपीज बना रहा था और बेच रहा था, एंड इंडिया वाज अर्निंग अ लॉट ऑफ प्रॉफिट। सो ऑब्वियसली जब ये पैटेंटिंग, डेटा एक्सक्लूसिविटी वाले रूल्स आए, तो इंडिया was not at all happy with it। ठीक है? Because India is well known for making cheaper medicines and exporting items to other countries। तो इंडिया तो खुश नहीं हुआ इस चीज से। ठीक है? फिर हमें पता चलता है, even though India might not like this rule as much, इंडिया को शायद नहीं भी पसंद आए ये रूल, but India will have to accommodate with this trade deal। उनको मानना ही पड़ेगा। They will have to be in agreement with EFTA if India wants to actually continue further trade। तो हम देख सकते हैं कि India has been getting better at making their own medicines। This we have seen during the pandemic। मैंने तुम लोगों को पहले ही बताया था, पैंडेमिक में हमारे पास ऑप्शंस नहीं थे, बिकॉज वी couldn't just spend a lot of money importing injections, vaccines, और obviously vaccines को बनने में भी टाइम लग रहा था। So that's the reason India started developing their own set of vaccines and we got success also। ठीक है? But the thing is, in order for India to reign in the field of creating their own medicines, they will have to start investing more money। So in simpler terms, हम देख सकते हैं इस चीज को कि it's like India and EFTA, they are arguing about who gets to control the new medicine ideas। लेकिन अब हम देख सकते हैं कि इंडिया, if India starts to invest more money in their research and development of medicines, then automatically competition तो रहेगा, but the thing is disagreements जो है EFTA और इंडिया के बीच में, वो कहीं ना कहीं रिजॉल्व हो जाएंगे। Now that was the summary of the passage। अगर यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं समझ में आया हो तो प्लीज लेट मी नो। ठीक है? Also, you must have seen that I have highlighted this word here, inveigle। Does anybody know the meaning of inveigle? When you try to inveigle somebody, that means you are trying to win their favor by flattery। आप उनकी इतनी तारीफ करते हो, मक्खन लगाना जो बोलते हैं ना, उसी को ही बोलते हैं inveigle। So when you basically butter somebody because you want to get something done, obviously buttering तभी होती है जब आप सामने वाले से कोई फायदा या एडवांटेज चाहते हो। ठीक है? ठीक है? So Naman has given us a very I think a relatable example here. Xerox is the first company known for photocopy who patented their project, and that's why photocopy is also known as exactly general parlance as Xerox. इसका ही reason ये है. And it's actually I think देखो, if anybody is that creative and is coming up with new ideas, why not get it patented? क्योंकि यार तुमने अगर गलती से भी मुंह खोल दिया किसी के सामने और उसने चुरा लिया आपका आइडिया, आप कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे. You will just feel disappointed, you will have a lot of regret, and you will probably be in a lot of loss. So it's better to patent it, right? So the meaning of inveigle to persuade or convince somebody by means of deception or flattery. आप किसी को flatter करने की कोशिश करते हो क्योंकि आपको पता है कि इससे कुछ फायदा निकल सकता है. That's inveigling. Okay. Now today I have changed the way we play the quiz. So आज का जो quiz है वो tones पे नहीं है. आज का quiz जो है, I hope you enjoy it by the way, is based on vocabulary. I hope you guys are ready. So the rules are pretty simple. I think I've created a quiz of 4 or 5 questions in total. The words that we have seen today, I have created fill in the blanks out of it, and you need to fill in the blank using the correct appropriate option. Okay? The answers you are going to write in the chat box right now, but there's this bonus question. और ये जो bonus question है, इसका answer you will not be giving in the chat box. I want that answer in the form of comment, which will be after this video is done for the day. So once I end the video, obviously, then you can comment your answers and I'll be looking forward to seeing your answers. So I hope you're ready. Let's talk about the main idea first. Very good, Vaishnavi. Thank you for reminding me. And the main idea is India has a lot of potential, exactly, in leading the medicine field. Yes. And as you can see, but necessary provisions and precautions must be considered and undertaken regarding patenting new discoveries. That's true, Vaishnavi, but I think you have forgotten one important point. So यहाँ पे data exclusivity and patenting जो है, it's basically undertaken by EFTA and the countries that come under EFTA. तो क्या होता है, बेचारे ईएफटी वाले जो है वो बहुत ज्यादा पैसा इस इन्वेस्ट करते हैं in their research and development, and eventually somebody else comes, basically swoops in their idea and starts selling cheaper medicines. तो वो वाली चीज यहाँ पे थोड़ी सी मिसिंग है. Rest, your idea is fantabulous. Whatever you have done with the main idea, great. The tone of this was writer taking any sides in this particular passage? Did you see the writer taking any sides? बताओ. I hope my handwriting is legible. The current disagreement between India and EFTA regarding patenting and data inclusivity. Secondly, India has a lot of potential, but needs to invest more in research, R&D, basically, research and development in the medicine field. Tone is neutral or analytical, because we can see that the writer talks about, how India, although it might not fully agree with patenting, but still eventually India will come around and उनको मानना ही पड़ेगा इस चीज को, because what's right is right, obviously. So the writer does not really take sides. He's just explaining things. He's just analyzing this current, ongoing debate between India and EFTA. and he does not really give his opinion about anything, so that's a neutral stance. Also analytical, because he does talk about the pros and cons of the issue. And now coming to the quiz. I hope you are ready. So मुझे बताओ, one who rises up in dash is called an insurgent. I have given you the hint. The first one is very simple, by the way. By the force they are rising against. One who rises up in dash is called an insurgent. By the force they are rising against. What should be the answer? Need the answers from you guys. Allegiance, what do we mean by allegiance? It means, yes, Vaishnavi, objective was the tone. Allegiance का मतलब होता है loyalty. So can it be loyalty? So one who is loyal, can he be called an insurgent? Or can it be insurrection? Or pro rata? Or muzzle? What do you think should be the answer? The answer, I think you must have caught upon the hint, which is insurgent. The answer is insurrection, right? One who rises up in insurrection, that means one who rises up in rebellion, is known as a rebel. The answer is B. यहाँ पे लॉयल्टी नहीं होगी क्योंकि आप किसी के अगेंस्ट जा रहे हो ना, तो अगर किसी के अगेंस्ट जा रहे हो तो हाउ आर यू लॉयल टू देम? द आंसर इज बी. मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट वन. Yes, very good. Vaibhav, Harisharan, correct answer. Shall I move this side? I hope the screen is visible. Waiting for your answers for the second one. If you successfully dash your sister to doing something for you, she must be so caught up in your flattering that she's blind to your true intentions. I think there have been instances where we have tried to successfully dash our siblings so that they can, start doing what you want them to do. So, what should be the answer? Fruition? Does it mean that you are realizing your dream? Or loyalty? Or inveigle? Or arbitrariness? क्या हो सकता है इसका आंसर? Very good. The answer is inveigle. Convince someone through excessive flattery. तो यहाँ पे यही तो हो रहा है. If you successfully inveigle, इनवाइगल का मतलब होता है अगर सक्सेसफुली आप अपनी बहन को कन्विंस कर लो थ्रू फ्लैटरी, इसका मतलब ये है कि शी मस्ट बी सो कॉट अप इन योर फ्लैटरिंग, मतलब वो बेचारी बह गई होगी भावनाओं में, एंड दैट्स द रीजन शी कैन नॉट सी योर ट्रू इंटेंशंस. आर्बिट्ररीनेस का मतलब होता है मनमानी, तो यहाँ पे क्या मनमानी चल रही है क्या किसी की? Also, can you use arbitrariness in this particular sentence? If you successfully arbitrariness, does the sentence sound correct? It sounds so incorrect, right? Moving to the next one. A dash fan looks and acts just like dozens of other fans. ऐसा कौन सा फैन है जो सबके जैसे ही दिखता है? What we will call him? वैभव, that means you need to improve your persuasive skills. किसी दिन कोशिश करके देखना, it will work. Pro rata means in proportion. Stalling somebody means to stop them, to limit them. Plunge का मतलब होता है taking a jump or dive, and generic means not specific or general. So the answer should be generic. A generic fan looks and acts just like other fans. कोई उसमें specific fan तो है नहीं वो, क्योंकि वो तो सभी की तरह behave कर रहा है. So the answer should be generic. Exactly. I hope these fill in the blanks are challenging enough for you. And this is the bonus question. I don't want the answer to this right now? I want this answer after I end today's class. So, in the comment section, grandfather's will was a dash for the whole family. You can click a picture of this and answer later, and you can just write their bonus question, and the answer should be this. And that's it from my side. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the quiz today, and looking forward to your replies later on. So the answer should be, I don't want the answer right now, Vaishnavi. Grandfather's will was a dash for the whole family. Should it be muzzle, scuttle, bone of contention, or pro rata? So think about it, and that's it. Thank you so much. Bye bye. I will be pinning your answers, okay? I did tell them to pin your previous videos answers, but I think they haven't yet done it. But yeah, I have liked your comments, by the way. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Madhumita. Thank you, everyone, for your time, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye bye. See you.